Any bad words or bad situation between Metallica and Dave Mustaine today?
No.
No?
No.
Why do you say the truth now?
The truth, me and James went to a bar the other night together and drank together, and
It was by the beach.
it was by the beach even, together, and it was just, it really reminded me of the old days quite a bit, you know.
Exactly when I put this thing together, on the drafting board in my room. Yeah.
What about this guy?
Hey, yes. Well, an old friend of ours for sure, and he has done very well for himself in Megadeth. And after him getting kicked out of Metallica, went on to have an amazing career. Dave is an amazing guitar player, great songwriter, and he has done some amazing stuff in his band.
But I guess you've never talked to him again.
Oh, we've talked.
You?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
He played the Big Four together. So.
Yeah, we played Big Four, and also he showed up and played with us on the 30-year anniversary at the Fillmore.
All right.
Yeah, we played some early songs.
You're out of Metallica, is that right?
They threw me out?
Yeah?
Well, you know, I kind of earned that myself. I slugged James in the mouth, and he what would you do if someone belted you?
Yeah, 9-year-old.
Miles,
Yeah.
that's who he was.
Yeah.
I remember that little boy.
I don't know if I told you the other day, but I told Dave that his favorite band was Megadeth for about a year. So about in 07, huh? In 07, in 07, 08, we would every morning we got in the car, and I'm taking him to school. We listen to Megadeth.
Quite a surprise. A lot of people that I knew but I didn't know cared. Most notably, I got a text message back from my old brother, James Hetfield, and I was so happy to hear from him. Contrary to what anybody says and contrary to any of the act that we put on, I love James, and I know that James loves me and cares about me. You can see that when the moment of truth is here and I'm telling the world that I've got a life-threatening disease. Who comes next? Who comes to stand next to me? James. Wow.
There was never really that much animosity between me and him. I think we forgave each other rather quickly. I've seen him a lot, and we've run into each other a lot. In the last couple of years, me and him have actually gotten a kind of a cool phone thing. He calls me once in a while and just tells me how he's doing. I have a kind of a pure thing going and stuff like that.
We definitely experienced a lot of cool stuff together that can never be changed and never be done again with the same innocence and virgin territory that we had covered.
Virgin.
Lastly, it's not about Dave, but
Virgin used loosely.
anything else you guys want to say about Megadeth?
They're all right. No.
I think,
This is the Dave hour.
No, just, rust in peace.
What?
Wait.
That's one of them.
No, wait. What's the second?
Peace cells.
Peace cells. Okay, there you go. Some peace. I remember just when the first record didn't do that much for me. I respected it and stuff like that, but I was like a really big fan of Peace Cells. The second record I thought was an awesome heavy metal record at that time. And I listened to it a lot. And even though I certainly didn't tell anybody at the time, I was actually, I guess, secretly kind of proud of the work that he'd done because he had stepped up to the plate. I certainly didn't tell James. But now
I know.
But I thought that was an awesome record. I don't know. Once again, the one thing you got to admire about anybody who's been around for as long as he has, just the staying power is awesome. In a time frame where most bands stick around for 15 minutes or less, it's just awesome that it's been 15, 16 years for him and he's still here making records. And so you got to always tip your hat to that. It is pretty crazy that we were actually in a band together for what now seems like about 5 minutes or something, but it's something that nobody can ever take away. and that was just it's a great part of our history, great part of his history, and a great part of rock and roll history in the last 20 years of the 20th century, you know?
Dave Mustaine was recently asked by Metal Hammer to share his thoughts on the latest Metallica album Hardwired to Self-Destruct. The frontman noted, "I've always been able to appreciate the talent in Metallica. Every band has its strengths and its weaknesses. Personally, from everything I've heard so far, I think the new album is a good one. I hear that a lot of people have been making comments about Kirk Hammett and Rob Trujillo not writing anything on it. But sometimes that's just unavoidable. I guess I would have loved more writing from both those guys, because I loved Infectious Grooves and Suicidal Tendencies, and I always loved the lines Kirk wrote with Exodus, but that's the way the cookie crumbles when you're in the studio. The best songs make the cut."